Stress is not bad. Stress is the first factor needed in the peak human performance equation, but we tend to have this perception that stress is bad, which doesn't make much sense when we realize that moving, exercising, physical training is a stress. But we know that we should do it because it makes us stronger and more resilient. Then why this perception? Maybe stress is responsible for injury and that makes it bad. Hold the phone, not directly, because it's not the stress, it's the inability to recover and adapt to the stressor that gets us in trouble, which makes the updated statement, stress is great, the inability to adapt to the stressor is a problem. Which leads us to this equation. Stressor plus recovery equals increased resiliency. Stressor plus poor recovery equals decreased resiliency. And then taking this a step further, let's define the equation or the stressor of doing the work, which is termed external load. The ability to adapt and recover is influenced by internal load, which is the physiological, psychological, and perceptual response to the work, the external load, that was completed. Internal load helps explain why on different days the same weight can feel extraordinarily heavy or like nothing at all. Why we can run and feel bouncy one day, but then the next day it feels like we have bricks in our shoes. It helps explain how twin athletes can be on the same external loading program, but one gets injured while the other one does great. Internal load is complex because it relies on our subjective experience of the work completed, which is dependent on numerous factors such as sleep, fatigue, nutrition, previous experiences, mindset, environment, or overall well-being. This is what makes Hope Coaching different. The focus on using simple but not easy tools to improve your well-being, which in turn decreases your internal load. We believe external load, the training part, is important, but at the absolute most, it's half the equation. Managing internal load is the key to reaching states of optimal performance. And through this program, you will learn the simple, not easy tools to become the master of regulating your internal load. But let's see what that formula becomes when we put external and internal load into the equation. For peak human performance, high external load plus a low internal load, meaning that you're able to do a lot of physical work. And then due to our solutions, you have a low internal load and are able to recover well to that stressor. Let's see what the other potential combinations are with external and internal load. If we have low external load and high internal load, unhappy face, state of overtraining, maladaptation. In this box, you're not able to do a lot of work, and even with a little bit of work, you're not recovering well because you have a high internal load. This box, we need to double down on strategies to help you recover. In this box, we have low external load and a low internal load. If you're in this box, this means that you're bored, you're not being challenged enough. We have to increase your workload and give you better challenges so that you are no longer bored. In this box, if we have a high external load and a high internal load, then we need to decrease workload. Now, we may be in this box during training leading up to a competition, but we don't want to stay here too long, or we increase the chance of sliding over to that unhappy face box. We don't want to be in that one. All right, last box here. High external load, low internal load, peak performance. You're training hard, but you're recovering and adapting incredibly well. With that being said, we want to pause and let you take a look at this chart and reflect and ask yourself, what box am I in currently? And why do I think I'm in this particular box? Whatever box you're in, we want to guide and shift you towards the quadrant that you can train hard and recover even better. That, my friends, is how we become Hope.